Massachusetts, and I have 2 average height parents and an older sister. And when I was first born, my parents just wanted to make sure I was going to be okay, that I was going to live a healthy life, and that I was going to be able to do all the things that everyone else can do.
Can everybody hear?
No.
Okay, maybe use the mic back.
Scoot
up a little.
Yeah.
Hello.
There we go.
My parents just wanted to make sure that I was going to live a healthy life, and then they were going to be fine raising me however it needed to be done. But when I was first born, the doctors at the hospital didn't really know much about dwarfism or anything, which happens to be common among a lot of doctors around the country. And they said, just go to this place that they'll tell you all about what to do. Well, the place where they led them had a sign that said birth defects. And my dad got really mad and yelled at the people who said, you're really going to tell us to follow this sign that says birth defects? You want people to have a child and then be excited about having a new person in their life and then not be comfortable with it because you're throwing it in their face that it's a defect? So luckily, like a week later, they changed the sign to genetics. And that's kind of a summary of how blessed I've been to have such understanding and amazing parents to really just try to figure out how they can help me live the best life and most normal life possible. My dad always jokes that he wanted 1 kid, my mom wanted 2, so they settled at 1.5. and the reason he always teases me like that is he wanted me to be prepared for the outside world and be okay with having people point and stare because it was going to happen. And I think that really helped just growing up in that environment where it was okay to be open about it, but also okay to come home and cry if I was made fun of. So when I was about 6 months old, they were blessed to find Dr. Kopitz, who a lot of you may have heard of or known, in Baltimore, and we would drive a few times a year down to Baltimore for the specialist appointment. It's interesting because some of your doctors that know nothing about dwarfism, like my physician growing up who was just there in case I got sick or anything because we couldn't go to Baltimore for everything, he would always judge my health and base it on someone else my age. So there was one time, like I've always had to kind of struggle with weight like a lot of us do and make sure that you're cautious of what you eat and staying active. And he one time was like, are you eating enough cheese? You're not eating enough. And then I go down to the doctor in Baltimore and he's like, you need to lose weight. We're going to put you on diet pills. And I'm like, I'm going to do it naturally. And I know what's important. And obviously I listen to the doctor in Baltimore, but it really shows that some of these doctors think they know what they're talking about and try to put on a front. Even one time I had a surgery and they were really feeling comfortable about the anesthesia, and the person just came off way too much of like, I know what I'm doing, and my dad canceled the surgery because he's like, we're not putting our daughter under this. And that's been amazing to have them be there and be able to fight for that stuff because it's hard. And Julie and I did have different upbringings where my parents were always there and very supportive and wanted me to be open about it, because if you let it in, if you keep it in, it ends up being more painful. And now I even kind of, they always teach me when I'm in painful situations that one day you're just gonna look back, you're gonna laugh and forget about it. And it really does happen that way, where I don't even remember pain. Even my biggest surgery was when I was 15, I had 7 pieces of my vertebrae removed. And it was scary. And the only thing I wanted to know was, am I gonna be in pain? But I don't remember one bit of pain. And I think it's important just to make sure, like, just us, by being ourselves, we can educate people. And one of the reasons I live in LA now, I've been there for 5 years, I moved out here because I wanted to change the perception of little people in the media, and that in the overall spectrum will change it in society, because a lot of people, if they've never seen a little person, it's based on what they see on TV or in movies. So I came out here, and I've been out here 5 years. I went on 100 interviews when I first came out, and even people in this town with a lot more diversity and openness to it are very judgmental and not open to giving little people a chance. And I've learned, even by being in the industry for a long time, it's hard to even try to even get into the minds of these people, but the best thing we can do is be ourselves and educate them one step at a time. I have a friend who I work with, or he just left, but now he's working somewhere else, educating more people about just what he learned from building a relationship with me and being sitting next to me every day at work. And one time he has this friend who has a script, and they were using the M word and going to have this part be really degrading and disgusting, and he just yelled at his friend. It was like, you're not going to do that. Unfortunately, what ended up happening is he had him change it to like someone of a different type of difference, but he still was trying to educate, and I like hearing those stories when people can educate and share what they learned from just me being myself and living my own life. All through high school and college, I was playing sports with my average height peers. A lot of people said what they admired the most was that even though it took me a lot longer, I still wanted to finish, and I did it with swimming, soccer, skiing, sailing. And I think it's just, I've tried to live and want to speak about just the fact that anything's possible, and if someone tells you that you can't do something, you have to just still do it. And what I've been doing lately with trying to pursue speaking is reaching out to those people who go through the same type of experiences. That's how I found Julie, and just really researching people who are in the field or doing what you're interested in and what you're passionate about. Because that's the worst that someone can say is, no, I'm not going to help you or teach you. But I got rejected 100 times. Well, in those interviews before that, I probably sent out about 2,000 resumes. And you have to just be able to move on. And luckily, working in the entertainment industry, I've learned this, that if you make a mistake or something happens, you have to recover fast, because you're not going to get to the next task and you're not going to get it done right. So whenever someone gets down about something, I think it's important to just make sure that you pick up, or maybe reflect a little bit, but know that there's something brighter out there and you're meant to do something else if that wasn't the right opportunity. And Mikey's been one of my greatest inspirations. He lives with me. He actually went through 20 surgeries, and not a day in his life does he complain. And he struggles to do so much more. Like, I don't even have to think about things sometimes, reaching for things. I just kind of do it naturally, and he just never complains. And that's what's important. It's important being around positive energy and people not complaining, and you'll get a lot more done. And I'm just thankful to be part of such an amazing group of people. I didn't get involved in LPS in college, and I was kind of afraid to, because I just didn't think that I was any different. And being part of it, I've met some amazing people, and it's a matter of what's inside of these people and what they contribute to society, and how much I've learned from everyone. And it's sad that sometimes I even get bored by some of my other friends that I grew up with, because I'm just like, they're not as unique. But I've also been one to not judge a book by its cover. Even if someone says, oh, I don't like that person, I'm not going to give them a chance. I don't want to talk to them. Same with movies, critiques. I want to see it before I think, oh, that person said that they didn't like that. So I think everyone deserves a chance, and there are going to be those times of conflict, but they have to prove that it's a time of conflict, and maybe they can overcome it as well. So my message, I guess, would be stay positive and don't give up, because anything's possible.